Lap 26 of the Pennzoil Platinum, and reigning Cup champion Jimmie Johnson having issues here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Slowing down, contact on the right side. They're going to come in and bend some of those fenders away.
Yeah, this is under green. These guys are trying to get some of this damage fixed so they can get him back out there. That little contact with Starling Marlin off of turn 2. These guys are just racing hard for position. Jimmie gets loose, needs a little extra racetrack.
Yeah, that's exactly where he got loose in the truck race the other night and having a little problems there, but it created a lot of problems for him now. And from all of that, he's really holding things up. People are having to go inside, outside of him. You can see that right rear tire down.
That right rear tire's flat. It's amazing he didn't crash the car getting down the pit road.
Yeah, Mike Skinner able to get by. Montoya gets by. Jamie?
Well, you see them going to work on that 48. I talked to Chad Canals, the crew chief for Jimmie Johnson. He told me earlier, we just want to get through this race tonight and salvage some points. He said, my driver can't drive here, and I can't set a car up here. Once we're out of here, we can win anywhere, guys. And they were mired back in the back, and you see the result.
Well, Jimmie Johnson came here in the middle of the week to run the truck race, just hoping to get some more laps and experience and maybe win one here. He thought he might have had a shot there, lost it in that race, and now having trouble here in the first 27 laps at Bristol. Back up front, Carl Edwards has led all 31 laps thus far. It is Edwards the leader. Jeff Gordon, after the disappointment at Michigan a week ago, in second spot, surprising Regan Smith. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated driver back in third. David Brudeman is fourth, and Kevin Harvick is now fifth. Here's our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge. Which of these bubble drivers is most likely to miss the chase? Would it be A, Jeff Gordon, B, Casey Kane, C, Denny Hamlin, or D, Clint Boyer? To play, text CREW to 191 from your AT&T wireless phone. Standard text message rates will apply. Well, that's a hard choice there.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Jimmie Johnson pulling back out, and now we'll pull back down pit road. Let's check in the 99 pits with Dave.
And during the break, you guys were discussing a near wreck in front of leader Carl Edwards. Two other spotters pointed it out, including Edwards. They told him maximum patience right now. These guys are going to wreck in front of you. He did back off quite a bit, but what that allowed him to do was allow Jeff Gordon to get up to his back bumper just a couple laps ago, Mike.
Yeah, Dave, and Doc was talking about the disappointment for Jeff Gordon a week ago in Michigan, and one of the things that Jeff was most critical about was the pit stops. Well, this week was a difficult week for that team. They really focused hard on consistency during pit practice. In fact, just before the race started, pit crew captain, if you will, Mike Tiny Houston, kind of held court with his team and told them, hey, let's put last week out of our mind and really focus on tonight. Pit stops will be critical for the 24.
Andy, you talked to Steve Letarte a bunch today. How did he really address what happened with them last week at Michigan?
They had a great race car at Michigan, and it's kind of funny. He said there was 8 championships between the 3 guys involved, and you'd think that a racetrack like Michigan, you'd have enough room for the guys with that kind of credibility to avoid each other, but they all came together, and you know, they feel like they're on the right track. They're coming, you know, they're coming to the racetrack with better race cars. They've got a good car tonight. As we can see here, he's running down Carl Edwards. Although Carl is in some heavy traffic. Seems to have broken away just a little bit here.
Jeff Gordon there, his teammate Jimmie Johnson back onto pit road again for more repairs. Jamie.
Well, Doc, he radioed in that his splitter is hitting the racetrack, so they're going to work on that right front fender. You see him pulling it out there because he had a fender rub, and the splitter, you see they cut it off there on the front right part. So, Andy, maybe you could talk about what can they possibly do to keep this splitter off the racetrack with banking like this.
Yeah, they're doing all they can do, Jamie. They just cut that part away, and if it still hits, they'll just have to keep coming back in and cutting away the parts that are hitting. Right now, he's 13 laps down. This is really a big blow to this team right here, is trying to get a good finish here at Bristol.
Well, if you're Chad Canals, what are you thinking right now? I mean, you got this many laps left, and you're already 13 laps back. Now, that's got to be frustrating for those guys. Good battle here, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yeah, we're seeing 2 grooves being utilized here. You've got the 12 car down on the bottom. Looks like Greg Biffle and Casey Kane are choosing the high side. And then you got Jeff Burton down on the bottom. So Ryan Newman is trying to make a pass on Greg Biffle. He hasn't been able to complete it yet. Looks like every time he gets just a little bit of room, Greg makes that run back on the outside.
Jeff Burton won here in the spring. He led 2 laps, the most important 2, the last 2 of the race on the green-white checkered. Looking to the inside of the 9 car for position. That will be for 13th spot. Traffic in front of Carl Edwards.
Yeah, every time he catches some traffic, Jeff Gordon gets back to his bumper here, and you know, these guys just aren't going to pull over. Juan Pablo, he's trying to stay in front here. He doesn't want to go a lap down, and it makes it very, very difficult. Carl has been running the bottom of the racetrack, but when you're trying to pass somebody, it just makes this place that much harder. You see Jeff going to the outside of him now, going to try to take the lead, but I don't know where he's going to go because the 42 car is going to be right in front of him.
I think he's just having fun right here. He knows he can't go anywhere. He's just going to play around here and see what the outside groove's like here.
This is great racing and what this is all about. And you can see, even though we have 2 and 3 grooves here, just how much it could hold up. You can see the brake rotors there on Jeff Gordon's car glowing red already, Andy.
I saw that, and I also saw that on the 99 car earlier. Carl Edwards had a tire go down last night in the Nationwide Series race because of excessive brake heat. And it's just one thing I'm really kind of concerned about because these cars have a lot more power than those cars last night. Yeah,
the drivers were telling me they're having to use a lot of brake here, but I think that these crew chiefs knew that, and they probably took precaution with that, just like they would at a place like Martinsville or somewhere.
We are being told that Jeff Gordon did indeed lead the last lap. He will be scored as a leader, so now he's got those 5 extra bonus points. And considering how far he fell 3 spots last week, he needs every point he can get.
He said he was just going to go for it now since they were in that spot. And he's racing hard here early.
It's amazing how these 2 drivers, these first and second, how not being able to pass the 42 has allowed these other drivers. You see Regan Smith in 3rd, Kyle Busch there trying to take that spot away. They've called these guys. They were about a straightaway behind a while ago, and now right here they are battling with them for the lead.
That's 3rd and 4th. The 18 Kyle Busch is 3rd, Regan Smith 4th. And now Kyle Busch is right to the inside, a half a car length back of Jeff Gordon.
This is where the patience kind of run thin. These guys are trying to put a lap on the 42 car, Juan Pablo Montoya, and they're going to get impatient with him. And you put yourself in a bad spot when you hold these leaders up.
Yeah, you do. And the thing that makes Carl Edwards' car so good is it turns in the center, but that's the one thing that you fight then is the exit of the corner.
What did Rusty say in Countdown? The worst thing you can do here if you're a slow car is get in front of a fast car and stay there.
Well, you saw Carl give him a little tap right there, so he's not very happy about the situation. He knows the position that has put him in. He had a nice little lead until he came up on this.
Hey, one thing, guys, I'm concerned about for Carl Edwards. He's driving so hard right now, Doc. And Andy and Dale, he's just wearing his tires out, that 99 cars. He's getting loose. He's spinning them off the corners. And, boy, you don't want that this early.
How patient are you? How long do you wait?
There's your answer right there. He just moved.
I guess Kyle Busch said, I'm not going to wait at all.
Carl just moved Montoya out of the way and slowed them both up enough that Kyle Busch got ahead.
That's a great move by Kyle Busch. He took advantage of the situation there. He kind of saw what was happening. Carl Edwards is still not finished putting a bumper to Montoya.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Carl Edwards had plenty of problems.
And that's the one thing that I saw with Kyle Busch here. He seems to be able to make passes down there. You know, obviously, with Carl Edwards moving Montoya up, it gave him a little better angle to get in there and make that pass. But you can see the 99 still having a lot of difficulty getting around the 42.
I'm with Rusty. I think that Carl had to use a lot of race car underneath this 42, and that's hurting him a lot right now.
Short tracks lead to short tempers, and thus far they have been able to hold their composure with the exception of a little bump and a tap. How much longer will that last? Because Jeff Gordon and Carl Edwards can't go anywhere. Now Gordon goes by. Edwards still following the 42 car.
I think Carl's just had to back off here for a second, doing exactly what Rusty was talking about, heating up his tires too much. He's going to have to give those tires just a break if it's a lap or so, and then try to, hopefully maybe Jeff Gordon will give him a shot and open up a hole for him to go on by.
Sun has gone down, temperatures are cooling, but tempers are on their way up. It's Bristol.
Can you give me